This is the cruelest episode of Kitchen Nightmares ever.
My brother never tells the truth.
I take that as a compliment.
I'm depressed.
Hi, I'm Nino.
Well, that's a lasagna and I'm the Pope.
I don't know how to thank you.
Hello, you gorgeous donuts. Kitchen Nightmares is a TV show hosted by celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay. He visits severely struggling restaurants who are on the brink of going out of business, and he attempts by the end of the episode to fix them and make them a thriving business again. However, there's always a reason why these restaurants are so unsuccessful, and a lot of the time it's down to the horrific owners who won't hear anyone else's opinion but their own. A lot of the time they don't even listen to Gordon, even though they've applied to be on the show and get his help. A lot of these restaurants seem completely unsavable, and that's so apparent in the episode that we're going to be breaking down today. As the manager of this restaurant lies to everybody, he lies to his staff, he lies to his family, he lies to his parents who are the owners of the restaurant, who he's also stealing money from. And he also lies to Gordon on numerous occasions in this episode. There's one specific moment later in this video where Gordon Ramsay goes toe-to-toe with the manager of this restaurant, and it's known as one of the most iconic exchanges in Kitchen Nightmares history. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm so excited. So the episode kicks off with us getting introduced to Vincenzo and Inca, who opened the restaurant Nino's 54 years ago after moving to America. And already that's a huge achievement that they've managed to keep this restaurant open since 1958. Clearly it's been successful for multiple decades. So it's going to be interesting to see why it's now going out of business.
I ran the outside, he ran the kitchen. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun too.
Oh my God, what a power couple. That's like, oh, that's the dream. You're joking? It's like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but better looking. Their daughter, Karina, who has a separate full-time job, also helps out at the restaurant, and she says that her dad, Vincenzo, ran the entire restaurant with an iron fist. He was a really good owner of the restaurant. He was very hands-on. He kept everyone in check, and everything was really organised, and that's why the business was so successful. However, he is now 88 years old, and he has to step back from the business because he's got early signs of dementia, so obviously the stress of running the business just isn't going to help him. And apparently as soon as he started separating himself from Nino's, this is where the downfall of the restaurant started. We then get introduced to one of their sons, Michael, who also helps out at the restaurant after having his full-time job, and he blames the entire downfall of Nino's on his brother Nino, who the restaurant was actually named after.
My brother Nino is supposed to be the restaurant manager. All I can say is he's the worst employee here.
I love that, right? Baiting your brother out right in front of the production crew, knowing this is going to be aired to millions. You've got to rate the shithousery. Straight away, just getting the knife in his back. Cutting his legs off before he's even begun. Love it, Michael. Can you imagine Christmas dinner in this household? It must be an absolute movie.
He loves to run up the tables and go, "Hi, I'm Nino." My dad has told him, Jack in the Box, the owner no be named Jack.
Okay, this guy's had like all of these lines written on a post-it note as soon as he knew that Kitchen Nightmares had accepted the offer to come and help. Okay, right, hello, Nino. Jack in the Box, right, there we go, there. They're gonna eat this up. Okay, Netflix are gonna offer us a special. I mean, I do get where he's coming from, like criticising Nino. Like if Nino is going up to people eating their food and going, "Hello, I'm Nino," I probably would mark them down a couple on TripAdvisor. I'd be like, there's this guy that just keeps on like telling us that he's called Nino. It's really off-putting. It's like eating a McDonald's and somebody keeps coming up to you going, "Hello, I'm McDonald." You'd be like, "Can you please piss off? I don't care if your name's on the front of the door, just get out me face." And you can see straight away that Nino does have a full book of excuses for his laziness.
I'm really quite tired. I didn't sleep last night.
Terrific, thank you.
All right, well, you know, everyone's got a sub-story, Nino. Still doesn't help anybody out trying to do their job, though, does it? Look at the bags under these eyes. Still recording a Kitchen Nightmares episode, I know I'm a soldier. Those men that fought in wars, they'd be looking at me going, God, some of that motivation, please. That would have helped. It's all right, guys. God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. What is really sad, though, is Nino seems to be taking advantage of his elderly parents.
We pay him, but basically he does very little. If he wouldn't be our son, he wouldn't be working here.
I mean, that's high praise, Inca. That is high praise for your son. Seems like a lovely chap. I might hire him myself. Get him to edit some TikToks for us. I love how they made him sit in the manager's room and like watch TV whilst bobbing his head to look like he's busy whilst holding some paper sheets. He's definitely like, yeah, honestly, it's a full-time job being here. Not many people could do what I do. But you can tell straight away that Nino possibly is like emotionally manipulating his mom. Like his mom obviously loves him and wants to make sure he's okay, and he's clearly using that to his advantage. Because realistically, if somebody was acting like this in your business but you weren't related to them, I imagine Inca would have probably have sacked them. Nino's brother Michael says that Nino is running this place into the ground, and after both his and Corinna's full-time job, they often have to come and help out to make sure the business stays afloat, which obviously is going to be really stressful for them because they're basically working an entire day and then working into the night, so they're just going to be burnt out all the time. And it's lucky they do help out, because the way that Nino interacts with the customers is honestly horrific.
Down a hair in that food. And you must have put it there. I don't have any hair.
They're liars.
I mean, he wasn't specifically blaming you. You know, it could have been one of the chefs. I mean, we've seen that the chefs aren't wearing hairnets, so possibly it could have been one of them. You know, the ones that cook the food, Nino? What's even worse is Nino is 60 years old. Like, you could possibly excuse this behaviour from, like, a 16 or 17-year-old who has his name on the door and his parents just want him to, like, have all of these responsibilities and it's really overwhelming. But when you're 60 years old, surely you've developed the skills to be able to take over the restaurant at this point. However, I do believe the reason he's probably like this is because his parents most likely have babied him. Like, obviously they love him so much, they've put his name on the door and they let him get away with everything, so he's never really had to go out of his way to impress them, because if he acts lazy, they're still gonna let it slide, so why does he need to get out his comfort zone? I'm not blaming the parents here, I'm just saying this is possibly why Nino acts the way he does. We then get our first interview with Nino, and he isn't impressed that Gordon's been called to help the restaurant.
My brother and sister asked Chef Ramsay to come without consulting me, and I have an ill feeling about it.
Why would you have an ill feeling about, like, a hugely successful chef coming to give you advice? How can that be a bad thing? The only way that that could be a bad thing is because you know that you're going to get called out for your bad behaviour. That's the only negative to this. If you actually are a really hard worker, then you'll be sound. Gordon just wants to help here. The one person who I feel like needs Gordon's help the most is Inca, because she still works full-time at her age in this restaurant, and she says that she just wants to keep this place open to kind of build on Vincenzo's legacy, because he absolutely loved this place and it would mean the world to her to be able to just keep it open for him.
The last thing I want to do is close the doors. Put a lot of love.
Oh, stop, man. What are you trying to do to me? Trying to make a grown man cry. What you doing? I really hope that Gordon can help these people out. I just can't believe that Nino is around his mother when she's feeling this way, and he still doesn't go out of his way to try and correct the restaurant's fortunes. It says a lot about someone that sees their mum in this state and still doesn't really care. Gordon then turns up to Nino's for the first time and inspects the overall condition of it. I don't know why they've got a sign above the menu that says it's the menu. If you're in a restaurant and you kind of, you know, you need this pointed out to you, I don't feel like you're in the right place. Like, surely people would just know that that's the menu. Would people be going up to this thinking it's a map? I don't know if they're trying to say this is the 1958 menu, as if they've never changed it since 1958. But also, I don't really feel like that's a flex. Like, the fact the restaurant's open since 1958, that's a flex in itself. But surely since then, the menu should have been updated to, like, the current times. Gordon then has a chat with Inca, just them two, learns a little bit about the history of the restaurant. He also asks who works there, and then after this he meets the rest of the team.
Nino, good
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. So you're the oldest?
Yes, I am. I'm the one that's going to be 60 pretty soon.
The fact he's also the older sibling, like, I know this doesn't always work out in family dynamics, but you would expect him to be like the bigger brother, the one that like carries most of the weight on his shoulders. However, this is just not the case. It's the complete opposite. It's also hilarious that the offenders are always on their best behaviour when Gordon arrives. arrives as if he hasn't just told a customer to F off in the previous scene. One thing that is so evident from the start of this episode is Michael can't stand Nino.
My brother Nino tells everybody how hard he works and that he runs this restaurant. He's not going to swallow your BS for 1 second.
If Nino has 0 haters, Michael is dead. Michael is dead and buried. If Michael dies before Nino, Michael is gonna haunt the shit out of Nino. Nino's not gonna have a single moment to himself ever again. There's gonna be plates falling off. The menu's gonna be falling off. The TV's gonna be flickering off and on. Michael is sat for the downfall of Nino right now. He's been waiting for this moment his entire life. Gordon firstly asks all of the members of the family like how they'd rate the food out of 10. And of course, Nino says it's a 10 out of 10, which obviously means that the restaurant's fine. He doesn't even know why Gordon's here. It's thriving, Gordon. We don't need your help. What is also interesting is both Michael and Karina also say the food's like a 7 or 8 out of 10, which is pretty good. It's almost like Michael and Karina think that the only problem with the restaurant is Nino. However, I feel like later in this episode, we're going to find out that's not the case. Nino basically says to Gordon that he stepped up to save this restaurant after his dad fell ill.
And then when he developed his Alzheimer's, I stepped up in this business.
He stepped up when no other person would. His name's on the door. He was here every morning watching telly, watching the Jerry Springer show. You can't say he wasn't. We saw him in that room with the papers. Riddle me that, Michael. He also lets Gordon know how hard he works every day at the restaurant.
Cleaning of all these plates, cleaning the restrooms, scrubbing the toilets. Weekends, usually I'll come in for extensive cleaning.
Christ, it's like witnessing Mrs. Hinch. The bloke should have his own cleaning products, his own spray and his own sponges. The bloke's in the wrong business. Why's he got a restaurant?
Cleaning? What are you talking about? The restaurant is a mess.
It's Michael's laugh. He's just anyone that has anything remotely bad to say about Nino, he backs them up with his little laugh. He's like, yeah, honestly, yeah. 10 out of 10, love. I don't think he would piss on him if he was on fire. Karina says that Nino is useless at every single job in the restaurant. He should be managing the kitchen. However, Nino says that he's not allowed in the kitchen.
They're very adamant about keeping that kitchen to themselves.
It's like everybody's kind of running the restaurant.
What is this, like Clash of Clans? Like, does everyone have their own base in this restaurant that no one else is allowed to kind of enter? What do you mean the chefs say that you're not allowed to come near the kitchen? You own the place! What do you mean? Nino then straight away gets exposed as a liar. Like, he said that he's at the restaurant 24/7. However, he's actually never there during lunch or dinner hours. You know, the main 2 times that food is served in the restaurant. The only job of a restaurant is to serve food, and he's never there when they're doing so. He's too busy cleaning, man. That's what he's doing. Now, this entire conversation just kind of turns into a venting session against Nino. They don't really talk about anything else but his flaws.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Irritates the crap out of me. He spends a lot of time sitting down with customers. I mean, not just visiting, promoting the business.
We're just saying anything now. Yeah, honestly, I just feel like he's a prick. This is like Nino's Anonymous. Hi, my name's Cam. I'm also a Nino hater. I just think he's a bellend, honestly. And I've thought he's a bellend for 3 weeks now. I'm trying to get in recovery, but honestly, I just can't get over it. I just think he's a bellend. People on the street are coming in. He once cut us off in traffic, honestly. Wasn't a fan of him since then.
He's not here at 8 in the morning when I get it. Why would I come here at 8 in the morning?
That's a fantasy. I watch TV.
To be fair, at this point, I do kind of agree with Michael. I feel like Nino just says that he comes in at 8 o'clock to seem like he's doing something. Like, he actually might get there at 8 o'clock. But if you're getting in early and just watching telly, there's no point of you actually being there. It doesn't matter if you come in at 6 a.m. or 9 a.m. If you're not doing something productive, it doesn't matter what time you come in. It's like those finance bros that tell people to wake up at 4 a.m. There's nothing productive about waking up at 4 a.m. unless you're actually doing something. Just because you start at a certain time, that means nothing. Michael and Nino then start this insane argument, and everyone's just watching and listening to them, and Gordon is just in pure disbelief.
I have high def at home with all the channels I need. Why wouldn't I just stay there? I get here
Tell
at 8.
people you're working.
Wait, that's his defense? That his TV at home has better picture quality? Good one, Nino.
My brother never tells the truth.
Coming from a pathological liar, I take that as a compliment.
God, could you imagine playing like a family session of Among Us with these? Oh, I'd rather play Russian roulette with a mob boss. The stress would be more bearing than that.
Just like last night, he ran up to every table and said, "Hello, my name's Nino.
That's not true.
I highly doubt he was doing that. Like, he doesn't give me... Like, Nino doesn't give me the personality vibe that he wants to be the centre of attention. He actually seems kind of quiet. I would be so shocked if this man is going up to tables doing this.
Hello, I'm Nino.
I just don't think that's in his DNA, if I'm being honest. I've only met this man for like 7 minutes. I don't think he's got that in him. I think you're exaggerating a little bit, Michael. And later in this episode, you're going to see why I actually don't like Michael. I feel like he's trying to paint himself out to be like the white knight, the person that is like trying to help the restaurant even though he's got his own full-time job, like he doesn't need to be here. Like, everything he's saying in this argument isn't constructive. He's just getting his anger out about not liking his brother. None of this helps the restaurant at all. It's almost like he just wants an audience so he can embarrass Nino. But I do get it from his point of view. If he's had years and years and years of Nino kind of, I guess, taking advantage of the family, this is like his way of just venting it all out. I just don't think it's a nice way to do it. And it makes you know better than your brother who you're saying is awful.
Would you let me talk? Mr. Always talking? I see that all the time.
You're the person who spoke for 90% of this argument. Like, you've got me defending Nino here, the person that's taking advantage of his elderly parents. My morals are skewed. How are you coming off as the worst person here, Michael? Just stop talking.
I love this damn restaurant, and to see it just being run down drives me freaking crazy.
Hot take here, but if you really, really did love this restaurant and it meant so much to you like you say it does, why wouldn't you put your full time into making it a success? If you really, really want to carry on your parents' legacy like you keep saying you do. I don't know if I should give credit to Nino for this, but at least he's here, but I don't know if he's here because he wants to be here or because he has nowhere else to go. After this insane argument, Gordon actually sits down to order some food that he's going to try to see if it really is a 10 out of 10 like Nino says it is. Because if it is, then that's one less problem that Gordon has to fix. But before Gordon even orders the food, he's realised a problem.
Is that a spelling mistake on there? Egg, plant, as in two separate words. Shouldn't it be sort of joined?
Yes.
Oh, what idiots. I definitely didn't know that was one word. I probably would have spelled it with 2 words as well. What idiots. Honestly. Nino, what a plonker. He's an absolute melon, him. Absolute melon. Watermelon. That's one word, right?
One meatball.
Wait, you just got like a singular meatball? That's incredible. They should just call it like the Lance Armstrong. That is incredible. He had one ball, right? I mean, I think that was because of cancer. I'm a terrible person. I'm worse than Nino, Christ. I'm going to be thinking about that at 3 a.m, hating myself. After Gordon orders the food, Michael gets in one more time to have a little venting session about Nino.
I'd be surprised if he worked 2 hours a day.
Would you not feel guilty with your mum working twice as hard as you?
Yeah, it should be day and night.
Michael's waited for this moment his whole goddamn life. Someone's agreeing with him about his brother. He's like, yeah, I've been saying this like for like 50 years. God, Gordon, do you want to be best friends?
He complains about not having money, not taking a vacation. Either come here at night or get another job.
No.
Nino's like a pantomime villain. Michael, he's behind you. No, he's not. No, really, Michael.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay, Gordon.
It was interesting there how Michael acted like he didn't just say what he said to Gordon, like as soon as he saw Nino. He's like, oh, you're right, Nino? Yeah, you're right. Oh, you're looking beautiful today, aren't you, fella? Oh, God, that head is glistening in the light. Nino then tries to convince Gordon that he actually is a really hard worker.
Nobody's here at 8 in the morning when I'm here. And there is a job that's in there.
He keeps bragging about getting to this restaurant at 8 a.m. Like, I don't even know if that's an early time to get to a restaurant. Like, I know at many restaurants, like, especially like the bacon team or the kitchen staff will get there a lot earlier than 8 a.m. to do all the prep work. I don't even know if he'll be the first person at the restaurant at 8 a.m. if they serve breakfast as well. Like, my girlfriend Chloe is part of the waiting staff at her work. She gets to work at 8 a.m. She's not the owner like what Nino's meant to be.
I get underneath there, I get the plates, I get up there. It takes about an hour or so.
My knees
and then I start doing the prep work.
This was me trying to convince me mum when I was in school that I'd actually like tidied me room. Like, oh yeah, you see, you know them like 5 cups that I've had up here the entire time? I took 2 of them down. That's progress, love. Right? That's like 20%. Right? That's 20% in the right direction. You see what I'm trying to say here? Can you work with us on this one?
Stuck to my jeans.
Oh,
How many bits of gum are there?
4 pieces of gum.
I thought this man cleaned his entire life. How's there about 5 pieces of gum underneath the table, man? Christ, Nino. Also, who goes to a restaurant and sticks their gum underneath the table, man? Who is the clientele of Nino's? That's what I want to know.
I don't think you should do that during the business hours. I'm here at 8 in the morning with me.
Shouldn't you be there with it?
He is kind of funny. Gordon, actually, I don't think you should be scraping, the chewing gum off. We've got one customer in the restaurant. I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate it. Come at 8 a.m. with me, then you can do it. I've done it to every other table. This must be the only table I didn't do it for. Of course, you'd sit at it. Oh, God. I love that Nino draws the line somewhere. Scraping chewing gum off the bottom of the table is like, whoa, Gordon, that's too far, mate. Lying about everything else, that's fine, though. Gordon then inspects the rest of the restaurant that Nino claims to clean all of the time, and it seems like it's never been cleaned for 50 years.
God, how often do you clean? Every day?
You can be on this here for months. I started one.
I'm sorry, this restaurant does not take months to clean. Months. Like, you're acting like it's Hogwarts. Like, what do you mean, months to clean it? There's like 3 rooms. Maybe it would take months if you were cleaning it just with your tongue. Also, it wouldn't be productive, so I don't know why you'd clean it with your tongue. So cut that out of the equation. Don't get any ideas, Nino. We'll know what you like. However, Nino just isn't having it that he doesn't clean this restaurant. He actually shows Gordon photos of him cleaning.
These are me cleaning and putting down all the bottles. Every single bottle.
I've never seen pictures of cleaning.
This guy's 60 years old. This is actually hilarious. It's almost like a character. I can't believe this is an actual human that functions in society. Why is there photos of him cleaning? Are they selfies? Did he hire somebody to take these photos? Oh, caught off guard, cleaning again. What am I like, honestly? Oh, you've caught us again, have you? Oh, well, I'm always cleaning, so you're probably going to catch us doing this. You might as well take a photo. Go on, take a couple. Right, there you go. Get all me angles. That's me good side, actually. Do me good. There you go. I think we should frame these. Should we frame them? Let's frame them, should we? Do you know what? Every single time I wash the dishes, I'm going to take a photo of it and then just kind of send it to Chloe on WhatsApp just to prove, like I'm actually a good boyfriend.
I don't know in the first place why he took pictures. If it's clean, you don't have to prove it with pictures.
This guy is like the biggest bullshitter I think I've ever seen on Kitchen Nightmares ever. It's actually impressive how much he just lies and keeps up with the lie. I think Gordon's really got his work cut out if he's going to try and turn Nino around by the end of this episode, because he has to like rewrite his entire brain, all of these bad habits he's gained in 60 years. How is he going to just kind of unravel this? It's going to be impossible. Now at the end of this video, we're actually going to do an update to this very day where every single one of these family members are, and if the restaurant's actually still open today, so stay tuned for that. Gordon then tries the 10 out of 10 food from Nino's.
How do you like this one?
Dreadful.
Gordon, just speak your mind next time, right? Don't sugarcoat it for it, right? Just say exactly what's on that mind, fella. How is it? Is it nice? Dreadful. Fucking dreadful. Wouldn't feed that to me dog, I wouldn't. Gordon then pulls Nino about the quality of the food being really bad, and Nino is still persistent on the fact that he cleans a lot.
Touch that is all. You need to.
I'm not going to touch it with my finger. I mean, I'll do something like that in the kitchen, but not in the dining area. That wouldn't be appropriate.
He might be the cleanest man on the planet. This man has never touched a germ in his life. Bacteria is his biggest villain. Do you know how most spray bottles say that it kills 99.9% of bacteria? Nino is the 0.01% that helps to destroy 100. He's the missing link to society being as clean as it can be. I think I need to hire Nino to clean my house. The fella's incredible. He genuinely is like Mrs. Hinch. I've never seen anything like it.
What am I supposed to...
I want you to be honest with yourself and stop fucking around.
I'm not fucking around.
He literally was about to say, before he stopped himself, go, what do you want me to do about it? I don't know. Maybe change it? Aren't you the manager of this place? Sounds like a you problem, if I'm being honest, Gordon. If you don't like it, I can't do anything about that. It's been open for 50 plus years, Gordon. Okay, you got anything to say about that? I think you, the treble Michelin star chef, is the one in the wrong here, actually. Gordon then really tells Nino how bad the food is here, and in true Kitchen Nightmares fashion, Nino doesn't agree.
It's a very delicate chicken, and it's delicious. He said the piccata was disgusting. This guy's disgusting.
everyone is just ignoring Nino. It seems like the entire dynamic of this place, like nobody respects him. Nobody really cares about his opinion. No one even looks in his direction. It's almost like he's invisible. And just trying to see it from his point of view, he might notice this and he just might think that he has no influence on actually making this place any better. So he doesn't even try in the first place.
You rated the food on a 10. So far, what I've tasted, I'm embarrassed.
That's too bad.
He doesn't even seem to care. He's like, yeah, well, that's too bad, isn't it? Again, what do you want me to do about it? I don't really hear any responsibility for me in this. You know, obviously it's all about me. Like, my name's on the door, but you're not giving us anything to improve out here. The food's terrible. And, Gordon, you're not as clever as they all say you are.
Can you have a word with the chef? I know you're scared of them, but ask him.
I'm not scared of them, and I'm not scared of you. I'm not a person that's scared, so don't use that word, please.
Now, this is interesting. Like, now that we're actually getting to see who Nino is as a person, you can see he's definitely got a huge ego, and maybe he's a little bit like fragile masculinity. Like, as soon as Gordon kind of pressed on him saying he's scared of the chefs, that's the first time we've really seen him actually show a little bit of emotion. He straight away like combated it and was like, I'm not scared of anyone. So it just kind of shows that he has this kind of toxic masculinity. Whereas in reality, the man has hardly any masculinity. Like the man doesn't take control or any responsibility for anything. The man is like a little boy in a 60-year-old's body. He's just not developed over the years. It's like so sad to see. Also, I love that Michael has came over and like got a front row seat for this. Like, he wouldn't miss this for the world. There could be a tsunami ready to take down Nino. This man would be sat here for this argument. Front row.
And if you find balls to go and ask your chef when he made the meatballs, it'd be greatly appreciative. By the way, there's dirty bottles above the fish tank.
I will give it to Gordon there. He definitely is pushing Nino to the absolute limit of his ego there. But he needs it. Like, he's never had a reality check, or it seems like he's never had a reality check in all of his 60 years. Especially from someone with so much, like, significance in the restaurant sector. Like, if people from his family are saying this to him, it's easy for him to kind of, like, emotionally manipulate them and be like, yeah, well, I'm here at 8 a.m. I work longer hours than you. He can kind of justify his failures in a way. Yet with Gordon he can't, because this is a hugely successful person that doesn't take excuses. He's probably heard every single excuse there is when it comes to restaurants. He's seen it all before. It's almost like a school's got a bully who like bullies everyone. He kind of makes everybody fall into what he wants them to fall into. And then all of a sudden a new kid comes who's like a bigger bully and then bullies the current bully. And I'm so glad that Gordon has came to Nino's, because it's so hard for anyone else in this family to kind of stand up to Nino, because it seems like he kind of pits the mom against Michael and Karina. He kind of like emotionally manipulates everyone in this family, like pitted against each other. Yet he can't do that to Gordon, because Gordon's not emotionally involved in the situation. He's literally just seeing this for what it is. Now, Nino did say to Gordon that these meatballs were made 2 days ago and he saw it with his own eyes, which again was a huge lie, because he goes to ask the chef when the meatballs were actually made and the chef says last Friday. So obviously Nino just didn't see the chef make the meatballs, unless his sense of time is completely screwed. Gordon then confronts Nino about lying about when the meatballs were actually made, and this stems one of the most iconic arguments in Kitchen Nightmares history.
And we couldn't possibly have this restaurant and have all the success if we didn't make a good sauce and a good meatball.
You are in denial.
He doesn't look like he's in a river in Egypt. That's shit crack terrible. It's proper your dark rock, that's terrible. I'll see myself. You know what, see you later, donuts. That's just another 3 a.m. thought to haunt us. Unbelievable. Add into the collection.
I am shitting myself.
But then you need to wear diapers. You sound like a fucking idiot yourself.
I sound like an idiot.
Sorry. You can't convince me that this is a 60-year-old man. It sounds like a 6-year-old in an argument. He's just repeating exactly what Gordon said to him back to Gordon. And then Gordon's like, wait, I've just said that to you. Like, stop repeating what I'm saying. And then he just repeats. It's just a never-ending cycle. Especially his reply to Gordon saying he's shitting himself, saying he should wear diapers. What kind of a response is that? Sounds like you've got IBS, Gordon. Maybe you're on the way out, fella. Maybe you should get out of this restaurant, get to the doctors, go back to England, get your healthcare for free. That's where you're from, isn't it?
Nino, we need to calm it down.
Unbelievable.
Did you see the look on the woman behind who's just eating her food? I love that Nino drew the line at, just taking the chewing gum off the bottom of the table. However, he'll swear his head off to Gordon. I like that this guy's got his morals in the right place, is what I'm trying to say. Nino's a man that I can get behind, and not in a sexual way, guys. That would be awful. God. Oh.
Now I know the problem. I'm staring at it.
And I'm staring at it as well.
The vibe of that conversation, it's like a chicken shop date. You know that show that Amelia Dimmonberg has? Like, it just seems so awkward. Why would Gordon Ramsay be the issue why the restaurant is failing? He's just turned up today. It's a little bit harsh to pin it all on him. At this point, I'm like 95, probably 96% certain that Gordon isn't going to be able to help Nino in this episode. He has to get rid of him. Surely there's no way that this man can have a character arc. I guess we'll have to just wait and see. But when you actually deep it, it's really sad that Nino can't put his ego aside to actually help this restaurant become a success, especially with how much his mum and dad have clearly looked after him and like really babied him over the years. Now that his mum and dad actually really need the help from him, he's not willing to kind of put his ego aside to help them. He'd rather his mum just loses money and keeps dipping into a retirement fund. It's really, really cruel. Like, honestly, this is one of the cruelest Kitchen Nightmares episodes we've done. It reminds me of the episode we covered, which was kind of the reverse, where the parents were actually stealing the money from the son. Now again, one person that is really enjoying Nino getting put under the microscope and exposed is, of course, his brother Michael.
I really don't know what's in Nino's head. It's almost like he's completely mentally unstable.
Again, with the constructive criticism. We love you, Michael. Thank you very much for that comment. Really helps the restaurant become a success. Thank you. Gordon then gathers all of the family members into one of the rooms to talk everything out, as now he's got a much better idea of actually the dynamic in this place and how bad it is.
I'm depressed. Dish after dish was a disappointment.
Can you imagine being the family that drove Gordon Ramsay into depression? The family that made Gordon Ramsay had to get antidepressants? The family that made Gordon Ramsay start listening to Little Peep? Imagine being that family. Have some shame.
You rate the food. 10 out of 10.
Best Italian food I've ever had. I have a lot of friends that come here and eat.
Yes. Because you probably give them the food for like a cut price or even free. That's probably why they come. Your friend's opinion on your restaurant is not a clear indication of how good the restaurant is. It's people that have no emotional connection to you. That's whose opinions you should care about.
The chicken piccata chicken was furry and slimy.
I mean, that's not a good review. Don't know about you, but if there's two things I don't want me chicken to be, it's furry and also slimy. If anything, that would be the two things I don't want it to be. I don't want anything to be furry and slimy. Nothing. Can't think of anything that I'd want to have them characteristics. Furry and fucking slimy. Sounds like a sloth. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, please do consider pressing the subscribe button. We're edging closer to 1 million by the day. We're quite far off now, but if you want to be in the before 1 million subscriber club and join the best community on the internet, the Donuts, press subscribe. Plenty of videos like this to binge watch when you're bored. Go on. Gordon then tells Nino that he's in complete denial if he thinks that he's capable of turning this restaurant around, and he actually confronts him about the cleaning photos.
You're refusing to listen to the negative feedback regarding the food, and yet you've got pictures of yourself cleaning the place.
I didn't take those pictures.
Oh, well, that's close the jury. He's innocent. He didn't take the photos. They were off guard, right? He was just there cleaning. A photographer happened to catch him a couple of times. You can't blame him for that, Gordon. Especially the fact that they printed them out and then handed them to him. You can't put that in his hands. He can't take any responsibility for that. Come on, Gordon, you're pushing it now. At this point, though, joking aside, Gordon is really trying to hammer home how serious this situation is to Nino, but he just doesn't seem to care.
All the weight on her shoulders, and I don't know when you're thinking of getting responsible. Hurry up, will you?
I don't know why he's just doing that creepy laugh. Like, whenever he gets criticism, he just does the creepy laugh. I don't know if it's like his coping mechanism. I don't know if he genuinely just doesn't feel any guilt for the way that he's taken no responsibility. I feel like it's that. He's so hard to work out because he gives nothing away. Gordon then says that this is actually too overwhelming for him and he can't help right now, so he needs to leave the restaurant. He actually apologizes directly to Inca for this. And after Gordon leaves, straight away, Nino just plays the victim and Inga kind of enables it.
You're the biggest problem here, and if Mom could initiate your early retirement, it would be the best thing.
Okay.
You are being entirely unfair and dishonest.
It's so weird because, like, have these people not seen an episode of Kitchen Nightmares before? Has Gordon Ramsay ever went into a restaurant, picked somebody that he doesn't like for no reason, and just bullied them the entire time? That would be horrific. He always focuses in on the problem, so if he's focusing in on you, chances are you're not the best fella. But you can see how Nino does get away with it because the way Michael conducts himself and the way he talks just really kind of, in a patronising way, it makes Michael look like the worst guy, so it kind of makes Nino look good in a way.
I can't
I
take it,
don't
but I
admit
can't
it.
take it.
Why are you yelling at your mother?
Because
No.
I come in here, you too fighty. You need.
There, even Nino, like, getting the little comments in, like, defending his mum so he can use it later and be like, yeah, I stuck up for your mum, like, so he can get on her good side. All these little tactics that he's managed to kind of do over the years are, like, coming to the light right now. It's so clear to see.
He said, this is not a family. And I know it's not a family.
Okay, ciao arrivederci.
I can't stand Michael. I actually think I dislike him as much as Nino, and I don't know why he's doing this. Especially at the end of this episode, when you find out what Michael's full-time job is, you're going to be like, how is this man doing that job? How do people like him enough to do that job? He just never has anything helpful to say, and I feel like he's really playing up to the cameras. He's trying to get cheap laughs rather than, like, actually fix the situation. Gordon then returns for the dinner service, and he just kind of observes everyone to see how they function.
Well, if that's a lasagna, then I'm the Pope. Jesus.
God, rest in fucking peace. Hopefully the Pope isn't being reincarnated as that lasagna. That's offensive, isn't it? Probably. Right, allegedly. Right, I need to make sure I say that. Obviously the Pope hasn't been reincarnated as lasagna. I don't think so, at least. Especially not a block of ice of lasagna like that one. He'd probably come back as like a Marks and Spencer special, wouldn't he? You know, like the really nice ones, the best of the best, or like a Tesco finest at least. If he was going to come back as... Anyway, the Pope's not lasagna.
I thought it was lard. It's not, it's chicken.
Oh my God, it's like...
Bloody hell.
Could you imagine if you lived in the local area and you'd ate at Nino's like in the last couple of years and you're seeing this? Oh, I wouldn't wish that feeling on me worst enemy, I wouldn't. Like, that chicken was just completely uncovered in the pan. We don't know how many days it's been there for, and they're just going to serve. That is honestly horrific. Gordon then confronts Nino about the chicken, and he actually just picks a piece up and eats it and says that's all good to go. He doesn't see anything wrong with it. As far as the actual service of the restaurant goes, it's actually quite quick, and food is leaving the kitchen consistently. However, it's getting sent back just as fast, as there's loads of issues with it.
This is supposed to be the breading, I think.
Yeah, I think I want to send this back.
How much oil was in that, man? It was like a hot tub. You're taking the piss. Oh, not even P. Diddy use that much oil? Come on. Now at this point, the quality and speed of the service has dramatically decreased, as obviously the chefs have to deal with the return orders as well as the new orders. Now you might be asking yourself, where is Nino in this entire situation? Is he trying to rectify all of the issues? Is he talking to the customers, trying to sweet talk them? No. He's actually cleaning. No, he's not. He's actually in the back with his parents.
Help me the kitchen. That's what you need to do.
I haven't eaten anything all day.
This guy is like a villain. He's a pantomime villain. That's what he is. It's hilarious that he thinks dinner service means that that's when he eats. And again, all of these manipulation tactics he's using are just coming to the light because he actually says like plausible replies to when people say that he should be working, like going, oh, well, what, do you want us to starve? Like, the mom can't really say anything back to him. Like, the way he's kind of emotionally manipulating her is so cruel. Like, just go and work. It's the busiest time of the restaurant. You should be working.
Had the initiative, the assertiveness to take over, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Well, actually, Karina, can you just stop yourself there, love? That man's been here since 8 a.m, right? Cleaning, watching telly, watching Bargain Hunt. Can you just cut the man some slack? He hasn't eaten all day, right? There wasn't many adverts in Bargain Hunt, love. What, you want him to get up when the episode's on? Women! Am I right? Although all of the blame should go to Nino, I do wish that Inga could be a little bit more just assertive with him and just put him in his place more, because he just walks all over her, unfortunately. I don't know if it is because Nino is the firstborn. I don't know if she like puts him above the other children. Obviously she named the restaurant after him, but in her eyes it's almost like he can do no wrong. And again, I said earlier in this video, but she wouldn't let somebody that wasn't in her family get away with the stuff that she lets Nino get away with on a daily basis.
And that's the frustrating thing right now, because I look and he's like in my right vertical at all times.
And you've got your poor 78-year-old mother standing out the front, clinging on.
I love that, like, even the sight of him just sends a shiver down his sister's spine. That is pure hatred. Gordon then goes to inspect the room where all of the stock is kept, and honestly, it's disgusting.
These are from Friday as well? How old is that to go that colour? I have a feeling if I asked somebody, they'd say, no doubt, from Friday.
Friday is a very, very busy day at Nino's. Christ. I've never seen someone love Friday as much since Rebecca Black. Gordon then confronts Nino about the stockroom.
Seen inside your refrigeration?
Yes, absolutely. We actually do a full thorough cleaning every night.
Oh, yeah. Bullshit. You smell that, Nino? Bull. That's what it is. And it's foistering.
Yeah, there's some product on the ground.
My God. What's that?
It's pepper.
I don't think he wanted an answer to that question. I think he knew that it was a pepper. He was just it was kind of a rhetorical question, I think, Nino. The more they look into what's in this stockroom, the worse it gets.
How long does a red pepper take before it goes that rotten?
It can go fast.
So I actually cleaned that on Friday, in and out. I don't know how it's got like that since then. The fact that that was stored with the other peppers that they will serve to customers, though, like, I don't even know how this place has been kept open. I wish I could see the hygiene rating of this place. It must be on the floor. To be fair, I had a bit of a shock in my own life when it comes to hygiene ratings. The Chinese takeaway that we always order from actually got downgraded to a 2 out of 5, like, health rating, like cleanliness rating, and that kind of sent a shiver down my spine. We always get it from there, and I was like, oh, well, that's probably why the toilet's been getting murdered the last couple of weeks. Sorry, guys, that's disgusting. That's not even funny. That's just purely disgusting. I'll leave again. Sorry. Now, for the first time in the entire episode, we actually get Nino admitting that he's wrong, but instantly straight after, he has to justify it.
I'll give him on that refrigerator. I'm horribly disappointed about it. It's impossible to do everything properly.
What? You say that you're here since 8 AM every single day. It's not impossible to clean the fridge. If anything, that should be one of the first things on the list. Right after making sure no one's put chewing gum underneath the table. You can tell why Nino was so worried about Gordon coming to this restaurant. Gordon then confronts Nino about what his actual role at the restaurant is.
If you want to say that, I'm sure that's your prerogative.
It's not my prerogative. I'm watching it.
Can you imagine being in a relationship with this man? You know, like, he cheats on you and you go, actually, that like really hurt me feelings, and he goes, well, that's how you feel. Sounds like a you problem, if I'm honest. I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I actually felt pretty good for me, not gonna lie.
I don't have the authority to assert myself, and when I ask somebody...
Nino. You do.
Okay, so that's interesting, and it's one of the first times that Nino's actually opening up. Like, we're halfway through this episode, way past halfway through, and we've got our first real moment from Nino, really. He's basically saying that he doesn't feel like he has the authority to actually do anything. So, hopefully, it's not the fact that he doesn't want change, it's the fact that he doesn't believe in himself enough to actually make a change here. It seems like he's actually really insecure, and he doesn't actually believe in himself. He doesn't believe that he has the ability to turn the fortunes of this restaurant around, and that kind of fits into when he was saying the chefs don't respect him and the chefs don't want him in the restaurant. I think he knows that everyone around him doesn't think much of him, so he just kind of thinks that about himself. And it's almost like the reason why he's laughing when everyone insults him is because he finds comfort in just not feeling anything at all, because he knows that if he doesn't feel anything, then he can't be hurt. Like, I feel like we're kind of working this guy out now. I don't actually think he is a really mean person. I just think he has a huge ego and is insecure.
That's not the way it is, Nino. Why do you tell stories like that? Is it 2 or 3 years ago I had to go into hospital? You were completely out drunk.
Okay, I know I'm really deep in this, but I love kind of just analysing just like relationships. I don't know, it's like an obsession for some reason. But Inga's kind of just changed the subject when Nino's opened up there. Like Nino said to Gordon, like, if that's how you feel, that's kind of your issue. Inga's kind of done the same thing to Nino there. Like, Nino's saying how he feels and it's instantly been shut down. And obviously this has probably been the case for like many years in the past, or like his entire life. And this is probably why he's never opened up. Like, Nino's actually opened up for the first time there, and then somehow the entire conversation has changed and been brought back to how his mum was in hospital and he was out drunk. Like, that's a complete conversation shift. It's almost like she just wanted to change the subject a little bit. At this point, Nino's mum talks about how Nino has went through various struggles with taking substances, also like alcohol abuse. So clearly he does struggle with his mental health, and this is like a big part of who he is. And I definitely think like managing a restaurant isn't going to help that. Like, the stress of that is only going to make you want to drink more to like relieve stress. The reason I just wanted to kind of analyze that little exchange between the two is like, in this entire video I feel like I've been bashing Nino, and I just kind of want to offer like a balanced kind of view on it rather than just kind of hating on someone, because there's a reason why he's acting this way. He just wasn't born this way, in the words of Lady Gaga. Don't know why I'm quoting her. What a queen though. Honestly, what a queen. Gordon then asks if he can meet with Inga first thing in the morning because he has a plan up his sleeve. The show then cuts to this meeting in the morning, and Gordon says to Inga that he wants to play this kind of, it's like a little prank on Nino. He says that he wants to border up the entire restaurant, and he wants Inga to stand outside and wait for Nino to arrive to tell him that she's no longer funding the business, she's actually closing the restaurant. And I think the whole idea is to kind of just work out what Nino's response is going to be and see what his motivation's like to actually turn this place around, to see if he actually has it in him to make a change here. So it's all riding on his response here. It's so dramatic.
Hi, Mom. What's going on?
I find it hilarious how the show have basically insinuated that Inga by herself put all these boards up just alone, just like a solo mission, just in the morning within like an hour. This is incredible. The woman doesn't need any help running this restaurant when she can do this.
I cannot do it anymore. It doesn't work.
Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Come on, Neen.
All right. Fine.
Are you taking the piss? Imagine if this man was like your battle commander in a war. You know, you've got to charge at the enemy. And he's like, I mean, if you can be arsed, run. If you cannot, just walk. I'm not really that arsed. I'll just be back here watching yous all die. So really doesn't make a difference to me, really, honestly. Enjoy yourselves, lads.
Well, Mom, it's your restaurant. You're the one that has a decision on this.
Fight for it.
Keep it open.
Yes.
I'm willing to fight to keep this restaurant open. Absolutely. Chef Ramsay, hi, how you?
Why did that seem like a GCSE skit? It seemed a little bit bland. The way that they were talking, I just think they're probably not comfortable talking on camera, but it did seem a little bit scripted, that bit. I don't think it is, though, because Kitchen Nightmares isn't scripted. But this is the first time we've actually seen him show a little bit of emotion. There wasn't much. I will give him that, but there was a little. There was a sparkle in the eye behind them sunglasses. I saw it. I think this actually is going to be a positive exercise, because if Nino just thinks that his mom's going to fund it no matter what, he's never going to get out his comfort zone. So hopefully this will be like the firework up his arse that he needed.
The business is on the brink of closure. You're part of that failure.
Yeah.
Do you understand what that means?
Yes, I do, Chef.
It means that you're useless. It means that this place was completely fine before you got yourself involved. That's what it means, Nino, just so we're all on the same page. Nino's mother believes that Nino has changed for the better after this conversation.
At this point, I believe Nino really wants to turn his life around, and he wants to do what's best for the restaurant.
I mean, she's not easily persuaded, is she? Right? She definitely didn't jump ship there. Obviously, she just loves her son so much, and she seems like a really nice woman, but she definitely lets him get away with murder. Like, this is one conversation. It really doesn't mean that much. Like, his actions will tell the real difference if he wants to change. But straight away, she's kind of let him off the hook, but I think it is good that she believes in him. Hopefully, she's just wiping the slate clean and giving him a fresh kind of chance to succeed here. Now that Nino and Gordon have convinced his mom that Nino wants to change, it's now time to convince both his brother Michael and his sister Karina that he wants to change. However, this conversation doesn't go as planned.
Nino, to his credit, turned around and said, Mum, I want to do this.
I don't believe that.
Oh, fucking hell, man, Mike. Christ. This man would murder somebody at a wedding, Michael. Honestly, if it made him the main attraction. I do get it from his point of view, though, because his whole life he's probably heard this time and time again from Nino. So why is it any different now? But surely you just have to wipe the slate clean. Like, if Gordon is helping you, this is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Just give him this chance.
He's committed to that this morning, and this is the new Nino.
Maybe for 3-4 weeks, but then he'll revert back to the old Nino.
They're definitely like half glass empty, but again, I can really see this from their point of view because Gordon's only known Nino for a matter of weeks. So it's a lot easier for him to just wipe the slate clean here. This is years and years of Nino pissing these siblings off. It can't just be undone in one conversation. It's going to be down to Nino's actions if they really change their opinion on him. But I do feel like even if they do agree to give him a new chance, they're going to hold everything that he's done in the past against him as soon as he makes one mistake. It's almost like if you're in a relationship and like one person cheats on the other person, you agree to kind of wipe the slate clean and forget about it. However, you constantly bring up that they cheated like on a daily basis. It's just not healthy and it's never gonna like work. And I believe this is the same kind of structure we might see here. However, Nino does fight his corner and he does convince both his siblings that he actually does want to change for the better. And they say that they're gonna give him one last chance. So come on, Nino, you can do this. I didn't believe in you at the start, but now I'm starting to be on your side. However, I'm unsure if he is actually going to be able to turn around the fortunes of this place because I just don't know if long term his actions are going to back up his words. Let's find out. So to create a better feeling about the place, Gordon actually renovates the entire restaurant and it looks so much better, so much more modern. He also creates a brand new menu so it's not the outdated one from the 1950s. Thank the Lord. He's also took the sign away that pointed to the menu, finally. He's also took away the black and white telly that was in the manager's office. I don't know if it was black and white, I'm just guessing. Everything else in this place seems to be old as hell.
I'm so happy, I'm so thankful to you. I don't know how to thank you.
Oh, this makes us want to cry. Because not only is this a business, like this is an actual family here that is getting torn apart because of this restaurant. And something that really doesn't mean that much to Gordon, just spending some money on a renovation is actually going to change these people's lives. Like this might be the greatest moment of their entire lifetime. And I love the fact that he uses his like platform and his money to be able to create these kind of situations for people. He's such a legend. I love this bloke. I would love if our channel got big enough that we could do a video with Gordon Ramsay. Like even reacting to a Kitchen Nightmares episode or just anything, even if it was just asking him questions about the show. That would be my dream. Make it happen, Gordon. That's my dream. It'd cost you nothing. That was a bit beggy, wasn't it? Yeah. That was a bit big. I just kind of fucked it there, haven't I? He's going to see this one day and be like, wow, what an absolute melt. Gordon then preps the entire team for the grand reopening of Nino's for the nighttime service. And he says that there's not allowed to be a single argument all night. Let's see how long that lasts. Now, as service begins, Nino is actually smashing it and he's taking full responsibility for all the orders going out. However, because there's so many people in the restaurant, he's starting to get overwhelmed with how many orders are coming in.
Nino, is that right? Somebody's having a minestrone for an entree.
Yes, it is.
You sure?
Yes.
Then how can there be 5 entrees?
Now, obviously it is Nino's fault that this is happening, but I don't actually really think it is his fault. Like, he's not used to this many people being in the restaurant. Normally there's only 1 or 2 customers. So this is going to be a really overwhelming experience right now. So I do have a little bit of sympathy for him. It's almost like he's getting chucked in the deep end of the pool and he's never learned how to swim and he's just tried his best to kind of stay afloat. He can only gain this experience from being put in this situation, so it's only going to do him good. However, this first hurdle that Nino comes across, Michael has zero sympathy for him and just starts kind of like overriding the entire process they've set up.
Nino started getting backed up and overwhelmed, so I would do everything I could to stop it.
Oh, here he is, the White Knight, the saviour, the man who returned on Easter Sunday. He can work this out. We don't need you. Just stick to what you're doing. We don't even know what you're doing.
Actually, Mike, I got this under control.
Yeah,
If
well,
both of us are happy, we can.
I need a margarita pizza.
Okay, now we're more confused than we've ever been. Like, The chefs are looking at each other like, who the fuck is this guy? What is this guy doing? Like, we were fine before. We had a little bit of a mishap, but we're okay. We're working it out. Even Gordon said it's okay. You're the issue now. And this makes me think, does Michael also have a huge ego? Because the restaurant is kind of functioning without him. Like, he can't be the savior anymore. And that's kind of hurting his ego because it's kind of showing that he's not that important anymore. And it also kind of reveals, was he ever important? Because when they were a failure, he apparently was the biggest kind of saviour of the place. What kind of a saviour is that? Even Karina is saying that Michael is just getting in the way at this point.
I feel like there's, a war brewing at the pickup window.
I feel like both of these brothers just have an ego issue and just really dislike each other. Especially Michael. Like, Michael gets off on other people looking bad, and that's obviously not a good trait to have. Michael would rather the restaurant fails and him look important rather than the restaurant succeed and him have no part in the success of it. Like, I've said this throughout this episode, he never has anything constructive to say. He never actually seems to want to contribute to the success of the restaurant. He just wants to dunk on everyone that actually works here. It's almost like he enjoys the restaurant failing because it shows that he's better than his brother in some weird way.
Please don't sleep on the counter. Stand up like this. I can't see the checks. Just relax.
So not only has he fat shamed him, he's like mocking his posture. Like, these are just completely trivial things. Like, nobody goes into a restaurant and goes, honestly, the food was great, the atmosphere was great, the service was fast, but oh my lord, when the guy was leaning over the counter, 0 on TripAdvisor, won't be returning. You won't see my face in Nino's until there's a chiropractor on set. And as the service progresses, he just continues to stress everybody out.
I need a calamari pickup appetizer and a minestrone. Shut up. Don't talk to me like that. He talks to me like again. He's going out the door.
I mean, that was nothing to what chefs normally talk like. The man muttered shut up under his breath. If you saw how chefs talk to each other, that's like light work. That is nothing. If you can't handle that, get out the kitchen, because that's not even heat. That's not even lukewarm in a kitchen. Gordon then gets really annoyed with Michael and actually pulls him to the side for a chat.
Well, I was coming up to try to clear the mess.
Let's keep it calm.
Okay, very good.
Sorry. What is that stance, sir? Calm's my middle name. I was raised on calm, right? I don't know what you're talking about. Look at me, cool as a cucumber. Does my face look red? Not as red as Nino's. I'll have you known that. But that's inflammation, right? Obviously, because he's weight and stuff. His belly, his posture, all that. That's probably why, actually. Why is he standing like that? So seductively. He's going to make us act up. No, he's not. Not at all. Nah, I'd rather eat at Nino's than be within a barge pole distance of Michael, if I'm being honest. And that's saying something. Gordon then reassures Nino to keep doing what he's doing because he's actually coping quite well, whilst he talks to Michael outside.
Your brother pisses you off. You've got to show some form of control. That's all.
I do understand why he probably feels so much resentment, like I've said loads of times in this video. But we've wiped the slate clean here. We're putting the restaurant first, and it seems like Michael's the only person that isn't putting the restaurant first. He's still putting his own feelings ahead of everything else. And I feel like he's going to be the one that gets left behind because he's not like part of the team at the minute. He's just acting like a spoiled child because he's not really relevant in the success of the business anymore. After this, the service goes really well and all of the customers that have attended are really happy, and Nino's absolutely smashed it. He got over that little hurdle when Michael was taken out of the equation, and it is kind of funny how when Michael was outside, the service was better than ever. Also, it's important to note how good Gordon is at like people managing, and that's probably why he's got so many successful restaurants, because yeah, he can change the menu, he can renovate the entire place, he can like do loads of marketing to get people to come in, but none of that is going to matter unless the people that work in the restaurant are working as a team and actually kind of looking out for each other. And that's one great thing that he does with every single Kitchen Nightmares episode. He gets people to actually function like a team, and this is why Kitchen Nightmares is probably my favourite like binge watchable TV show, because there's so much substance to every single episode. Yeah, he screams at people, yeah, he shouts at people, but the main core of all of the episodes is just like how people interact with each other and how changing people's mindset can actually change a business around. After the service is finished, Gordon then has a meeting with everyone to review how it went, and the first thing he does is compliment how good Nino was.
Nino, you didn't disappear. You stood there and took it. Well done.
Thank you. I want this to work 100% with all my fiber.
Do you know what, Nino? I doubted you, fella. I didn't think you were going to have a character arc. However, I have been proven wrong, and I am happy that I've been proven wrong. Okay, I love to see people just change their life around a little bit. That's incredible, sir. You deserve all the flowers. You did do the bare minimum, but you weren't doing that before, and that is progression. Okay, we'll take it, because at one point it didn't look like this was even going to happen. Gordon then makes a point to ask Michael how he thinks the service went, and this conversation goes terribly.
It was just very confusing. We'll see what our regular customers think too, but I can't speak for them.
This is so interesting because it's made me kind of think in retrospect, was Michael the bad egg all along? Was he actually the poison that was bringing this place down, like constantly bringing the mood down? I know Nino did nothing, but obviously before Gordon's arrived, like what has kind of created the kind of working situation that's going on here? If Nino's is going to be a success after Gordon leaves, Michael can't be a part of it because he just is so negative. Like whenever there's a good thing, like they should be celebrating how good the night was, and he's just putting a dampener on it for no reason, just because he wasn't part of how successful it was. What it showed tonight is that Michael can't put his ego aside for the good of the restaurant. Like even Karina, she didn't have as much to do as usual, yet she was absolutely buzzing at the end. She was saying how this was one of the best days in her family's life. Like that's the difference here. Karina really wants this restaurant to succeed and is putting the restaurant over her own needs, whereas Michael isn't.
I gotta go.
Who's acting like the baby now, Michael? How the turntables? This episode has been an absolute roller coaster. Oh my god. They should make it a ride at Universal Studios. The Nino's ride. The queues would be going round the block, man. Just every corner there's just a statue of Michael going, "Hi, I'm Nino." That would be terrible. Don't make that ride. They're definitely not watching this. I don't know why I had to make a point of that. What a twat. Gordon then compliments the family one last time and says they need to take this momentum into more services as the weeks go on. Gordon then leaves and we do get a short-term update on how the restaurant is coping without Gordon, like a few weeks later.
Nino is working harder. The task of running the business still falls on Inga's shoulders. Karina has increased her presence at Nino's.
Now that update was quite vague, but it painted Nino's in a positive light, saying that they're doing well since Gordon's left. No real mention of Michael, which is a good thing. All they say is that he took a step back from the restaurant, and in reality, I think that was the best move for him because he wasn't going to contribute to the success of this place. But the one thing that you really want to know, where is Nino's today, and where are all of these people today? Well, I've done some research and I've found exactly where these people are today, apart from one person. Now, the first update I want to give you is, unfortunately, Vincenzo actually died. He died at the age of 90, which I think was like 2 years after the show was actually aired. His wife Inga also passed away in 2021, which is unfortunate. Like, she was such a lovely woman and she did everything to contribute to the success of Nino's. She was just such a lovely woman, and I just hope that she was happy at the end of her life. In terms of the restaurant, I did find a Yelp review where Karina actually responded to it, saying that they didn't actually keep many of the things that Gordon gave them after Gordon left. We only have 2 menu items from Chef Ramsay on the menu. Our customers of many years wanted all our menu items back, and this has been the case since December 2012. Sorry if there was any mix-up when you were in about where the dinner options came from. Now, I don't know if that is true, but why would you want to cater to the couple of people that you had coming in regularly before, rather than like the new people who are going to keep your business afloat? It just seems like a bit of an odd decision, especially when Gordon made it so much better. It's almost like they're stuck in their ways. I don't know if the new menu was too overwhelming for the kitchen staff, but that's a huge disappointment because they've kind of wasted the opportunity Gordon gave them there and kind of lost all momentum, especially when Gordon tried the old food and it was honestly horrific and it was always getting sent back to the kitchen. Why would you go back to that? After the menu was resorted back to the original, the decor was actually stripped apart apart and returned back to how it looked before as well. So it was almost like Gordon was never at Nino's. However, Nino's did stay open for a couple of years after Gordon did leave and the show was aired, but it did close its doors in 2016. There was a press release Facebook post that I have managed to find. It's time to say goodbye. Nino's celebrated its 58th anniversary on July 31st and will be closing its doors on August the 14th, 2016. This is my family business and I was born into the restaurant family. And then it's just a bit like a novel, kind of just talking through how the dad set up the restaurant. And it is a really emotional post and they just thank everybody who has attended Nino's over the years. There's a family picture here also, but Nino, the son, isn't in sight. Speaking of Nino, there's no update to his current whereabouts. I looked everywhere, every Reddit forum, like every social media, there's nothing. Like the guy has just kind of wiped himself off the face of the earth. I do hope he's okay because I know that he did struggle with addiction, and if he doesn't have the restaurant to focus on, I just hope that he's got something in his life that makes him happy, especially now he no longer had his mum and dad who he was close to, even though he was emotionally manipulating them. I believe Karina has some sort of social media business. It's kind of hard to understand what her business actually does, but I think it's like helping restaurants with their social media. She's kind of like a consultant. The most interesting update personally for any of these people is Michael, who's actually a real estate agent, which kind of boggles my mind. Like, why would anyone buy a house off this bloke after they see how he acted in this? What's even funnier is there's like a video on YouTube of him introducing these services to everybody.
I've been assisting buyers and sellers of real estate in the Southern California area, saving my clients money, time, and drama.
If there's one thing that this man is not going to save you from, it's drama. This man loves the drama. He's here for the drama. He is the drama.
Parents owned and operated Nino's Italian restaurant where I worked hard and learned great customer service skills.
I love that this is like him talking on a CV, you know, where you're just bullshitting like about yourself. This is what he said here. One thing I do want to just kind of balance this with is now he's in a less stressful situation. He probably is a much better person. Like when you're highly stressed and in like a really toxic environment, it brings the worst out in you. So hopefully he's a lot happier now and is just a better person in general. But yeah, that's all of the updates with this. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Honestly, this has been one of my favourite episodes we've covered. We have got a little series of Kitchen Nightmares episodes now, so if you want to go and binge watch them, we do react to the craziest episodes of this series. So go watch this one or go watch this one, whichever. Go watch them all, right? Binge watch them, right? You've got plenty time. Go on. Thank you very much for watching, Donuts.